Greetings and salutations! This is Jason Silverain, and today I'll be playing the Kickoff franchise, well, at least the first part of it anyway. Now, there was a lot of football games for the Amiga, and honestly, I was more attracted to things like Speedball, but I can't deny, some of these were pretty solid for the time. Now, I thought I would start with Sensible Soccer, but sadly the ROM isn't working, so I'm going to have to actually go and either dig out the original, or alternatively see if I can find an alternative source of it. So, we're going to start with Kickoff. This was released in 1989. And it was created by Dino Dini. They actually lasted quite a while, because I think their series of games lasted until about 2003? Oh. So this is going to be a good, quick bit of fun. And I think they also did the Player Manager series as well, which was very popular. I know my dad played the hell out of that. There we go. I can barely read this. So we have practice skills, practice penalties. I swear this is a lot clearer. It's a lot clearer in the actual OBS. On my monitor, it's like I can barely see it. All right, match length. Well, let's go with 2 times 5 minutes. Lovely stuff. And you know what? I should practice. But let's just get into the meat of the bones of things today. Go with 1 player. Team class, National League, Youth League, Sunday League. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sunday League for the computer. Yeah, I'm also Sunday League. I'm no good at this. So all our players are gonna be absolutely rubbish. Okay, you wanna go up? We were gonna go up the pitch. And formation. I was a big fan of the 4-4-2, honestly. I like having lots of defenders, because I kind of suck at the game. I'm not even going to pretend with this one. Considering I'm having no practice, we're just going to have fun. But I love the little mini-map. Not all of them had that. I honestly remember this from Kickoff, that being really useful. Oh, come on. The old days of the, oh god, the sliding. I forgot how long the slides were. You know what? I thought he'd do the touch and knock it off. That's fine. That's fine. I will touch the ball at some point. Even if it's just goal kicks. Yeah, kick it. Okay, so this uses multiple buttons. I'm being spoiled for choice. There we go. We had the ball. We slide. Ah, too much, too much. So that's kick. Okay, is that the other part? Is button 2 pass? Bam. Well, this is Sunday League. We're just having a little kickabout. But look at these sprites. They're like, they give you all the info you need, really. Oh, the ball certainly doesn't stick to your feet like modern games. It's actually genuinely difficult to actually keep it going. Yeah! My favourite bit of footballing. I think I spooked him. No, I think it's just an auto kick. It's not me actually pressing the button there. Now a quick header again. No, I didn't mean to slide. I didn't mean to slide. Oh, I told you I wasn't any good at this. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a little bit of gaming history. If I get 1 goal, I'll be happy. But yes, there was, I believe the sequels to this were Kickoff, Kickoff 2. And then they started drastically changing the game, so it didn't really look too much like its predecessors. They started going to sort of pseudo 3D looks. Wow, I just booted that flying. I think there was a 1996 version. We'll dig that out at some point. That's because they started... yeah, that was it. It was it was like in the early 90s. I think Dino Dini left Anco and signed a contract for... Is it Virgin Games? Oh, God. It was so long ago, which released Goal, which was one of the other games I was going to check out. That was like later in 93, 94-ish. I think it was early in 93, if I remember right. But yeah, Anco kind of took over, and their versions of Kickoff were nothing like the first two games, or very little in common anyway. You can only... Well, that's fun. I kind of ran into that and fouled myself. Penalty. Yeah! And that crowd goes wild. That forward flip. I mean, that was actually one of the things that was quite fun. That was looking at all the different victory celebrations you get between the football games, and as you get on, they get more and more. Oh, God's sakes! Me trying to just turn the ball around, just not working. Yeah, they get more and more extreme. Admittedly, I played a couple on the Mega Drive, and they were pretty plain. I think the football game I played the most of was FIFA 95, which was actually when FIFA was reasonably good, but it was starting the whole trend of same game every year, even back then. And FIFA Pitch Soccer, which was essentially, imagine FIFA with less technical kicks, and there was different player types that all had a special ability. So you had the Brazilian guy who could jump with the ball and jump over tackles. You had you had the guy who was really a rugby player and could punch people and knock them over for a minute. Oops. I was trying to turn around and kick it, but I just couldn't get it to turn on without kicking it away. But yeah, there's the fun thing is, if he punched you, it wouldn't count as a foul. You had the guy who'd throw himself on the floor, which I think consisted most of the Argentinian team, which at the year it was released, they were kind of famous for doing so. Amusingly, all of the English players were practically the rugby guys. That was pretty hilarious. I think, yeah, because teams back then were not made equal. You had Brazil, which every single player was a special character, and you had England, which had, like, I think 2 normal players, bog standard, no special abilities. Most of them were the big rugby dudes. And I think there was one guy who could kick the ball really hard so it burst into flames. So the keeper couldn't grab it. He could knock it aside, but he couldn't pick it up when he did that. Yeah, but there's also the guy who could do, like, a U-turn with his kicks. Whenever he kicked the ball, it'd do a U-turn, which there was a wonderful little thing you could do at the start, which would bug the AI. If you did it from the center of the pitch to the right or left, the ball would go close enough to the post that the AI wouldn't recognize it as going to go in, so the goalie would just stand to one side and not try to get the ball, and it would creep in. FIFA Pitch was very good. But you've got to walk before you can run, and games like this is what those later games were built upon. And let's be honest, you know, this has everything you kind of need from a very basic point of view. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we can't do the bicycle kicks of FIFA 95. You only have very simple victory celebrations, but you know, you kick it a ball. Oh, for God's sakes, how do I turn on the spot? How do I turn with the ball? It's genuinely hard. I can do a straight line, and then if I turn the slightest, the ball keeps going on. There we go. Oh, that auto-aimed for me. That's all fine. I'm going to be looking forward to playing number 2. I played mostly just Kickoff and Sensible Soccer. I didn't really play much of the second one, because I kind of got it at the end of the Amiga lifespan. Back in the early 90s, you didn't really have places like Game. You had a handful of places that had them. But the main way I got games as a kid was either you'd go to like the really high-end computer shops, which are there to sell computers. They sell like the joysticks, the keyboards, the actual physical computers, early PC parts. Video games, yeah, you might get a single shelf with like maybe a dozen on, and most of it was just software. I wonder if I should go back to the early learning play school stuff just to show you the kind of things that, you know, was considered like educational games. That could be quite fun. Very simple, and then until I embarrassed myself not knowing math or something. Wait a minute. That was my free kick. Why did I not get to kick it? Fine, I will break your knees. Oh my god. That was some excellent passing. So yes, back to what I was saying. The main way I got games was heading down to Chesterfield Market, and there was this guy. He'd mostly have second-hand console games, but much like how you have places just full of DVD racks, you'd have this, and it'd just be maybe hundreds of Amiga games, all cracked. And the devs would go, "Oh, you can't crack this. We've made this game uncrackable." And the pirates would see this as a challenge. Yes, a proper goal. I like it. Yeah. There was so many games that said they could not be pirated, and it just made the community just go for them even more. And then some of them you had like 5 or 6 different cracks, all with different, trainers. Some of them were just... That literally hit your feet. That literally hit your feet, Sonny Jim. Why did you not do anything? How do I do small kicks? How? How do I not just boot the ball? Oh, alright, that's the alternative button, I think. Or no, that was him passing. Fair enough. And that's where we mostly got them from, because there was no other way. And as it just goes to show, and a lot of people say, piracy is not about the money half the time. It can be. Certainly when I was in my very young teens it was, with the people pirating the PlayStation games, but again, a lot of the time, it was the only way to get a lot of these games. There wasn't anyone stocking them, and you couldn't really order them online because, you had all the PAL and all that kind of malarkey going on, so you couldn't just order them abroad, because, oh, you get lost. Or if you did order them from abroad, you better make sure you've got the right region. Like, for example, Poi Poi 2 got next to no physical copies. I've seen that game twice in 40 years. I mean, really, I should say more like 34 years, because I certainly wasn't gaming before I was 6. But... yeah, it's just some games cannot be found, and I have looked for Poi Poi 2 repeatedly, and I think I found one copy of it for like £200 these days, and it was one of the games for the PlayStation 1 that cannot be ported over the it could not be run in the PlayStation 2, or can't be ported to the PlayStation 2. I think it's because there was a weird disc thing going on. There's a handful of like black discs that just can't be used or something. It's so long ago I can't remember. I've seen the first Poi Poi game around a few times, but I want number 2. If I hadn't played that on a £5 copy from the chaps who were selling pirated games. Oh, just outside the box. Excellent. And full time, it doesn't matter. I would have never got to play that amazing game. But I will say, in my defense, I have been going back, and I have been essentially buying a lot of the games I pirated as a kid. It actually made me buy them. But anyway, I'm rattling on. This is Kickoff. It is one of the better, more memorable football games of its era. Not so much as Sensible Soccer, which was its main rival, but it's certainly, you can have a good bit of fun with it. And I'd highly recommend it. If you give it like a good 10-15 minutes to pick it up, it's a great lunchtime break game. But I will catch you next time, where I'll either be doing Sensible Soccer or I will be looking at the second one in the series.